Sony has an extensive range of cinema cameras which cater to professional cinematographers. Lineup is widely used in big budget projects all around the world. The Sony FX30 is the company's most affordable cinema line camera. Sony FX30 looks exactly like the FX3 from the cinema line, with flat edges and a magnesium alloy body with a matte finished grey color. The FX30 looks and feels quite premium. Sony FX30 is the most affordable in the cinema line of cameras, but it is still priced at Rs 1,79,990 for just the body, which is quite a bit. This interchangeable lens camera sports an APS-C sensor and weighs 646 grams with the battery and memory card installed, and 562 grams for just the body. The camera is not weather sealed but is designed to be operated in temperatures from 0 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Ergonomically, the camera does feel a little uncomfortable to hold, especially if you're going to use it handheld for more extended periods. Front, we have the Sony branding, a customizable record button, a lens release button, an LED indicator and a selector dial. It does have an HDMI port, Type-C charging port, headphone input and a microphone jack. The Sony FX30 has all the necessary buttons at the back, including the menu, mode, navigation buttons, navigation dial, function button, delete button and 2 customizable buttons. There's also a sleek indicator LED that turns red as you start recording on this camera. The FX30 can accommodate 2 CF Express Type A or SD cards and can record simultaneously on both of them. The Sony FX30 sports a 3-inch touchscreen LCD which can rotate up to 270 degrees. It is helpful when you're vlogging. The touch input is quite responsive too. There's also a hot shoe mount on the top of this camera to connect accessories. The camera uses Sony's E-mount for lenses. The Sony FX30 features a 20.1 megapixel Eximor R sensor. This is a cinema camera primarily, but it can shoot decent stills as well. I tried shooting a stop motion video using this camera with the high frame rate option enabled, but my Sony a6000, which costs almost 1/4 of this camera, outperformed it. The FX30 can shoot stills at 26 megapixels in JPEG, HEIF and Sony's ARW RAW format. The FX30 does come equipped with a 5-axis stabilization, which in my opinion is quite good, especially if you're shooting without a gimbal and in a guerrilla setup like I did. It offers good stability with handheld shots like this one. The FX30 can also record in S-Log3, which gives a lot of control to the video editor to play with saturation, highlights and shadows. The Sony FX30 has an impressive ISO range of 100 to 32,000 for movies and stills, which can be expanded to 50 to 1,24,000. I did try to shoot a scene in the pitch dark, where only after ISO 12,800 I was able to see the trees in the scene. But once it reaches the upper ISO limit, the footage is barely usable. I found 6400 to be the maximum usable ISO for this camera. I shot a video with this camera in a studio with just one light to create a silhouette for the subject, and the footage turned out to be perfectly sharp and very noisy. This is not an A7S III, but it can give you good results given enough light in the scene. The fast hybrid autofocus, which is a combination of face detection autofocus and shooting a bunch of stills in different scenarios. The USB Type-C charging port is useful if you're on the go and cannot find a plug. This camera can also be powered by a power bank. The FX30 has a host of other features including dual band Wi-Fi support, Bluetooth 5.0 to transfer files and remote shooting. If you need the best of both worlds for movies and stills, I would recommend you go with an Alpha series camera. But if you are somebody who needs the Cineline features such as 4K 120fps XAVC S1 video recording, the FX30 is one of the best options at this price.